Do you know why remarrying after 70 often results in more regret than joy? If you're over 70 and considering marriage again, this may be the most important message you hear today. On the surface, remarriage can feel like a second chance at happiness. But for many older adults, it turns into a source of stress, financial loss, and emotional regret. The reality is that once you pass into your 70s, the risks of marrying again change dramatically. What first appears to be love can quickly lead to financial strain, legal complications, and emotional turmoil. This isn't about being negative. It's about being realistic, wise, and protecting the life you've worked so hard to build. Maybe you're feeling lonely, or perhaps someone is encouraging you to take this step. That's completely understandable. But before you say, "I do," again, you need to hear some truths. Truths many seniors only discover when it's already too late. This isn't meant to frighten you. It's meant to equip you with clarity to make a thoughtful decision about your future. And if you've ever wondered whether remarrying later in life is a good idea, keep listening, because the final point might completely change how you think about love, trust, and independence after 70. 1. Financial vulnerability. At first, love in your 70s feels like a gift, a companion to share meals, conversations, and quiet evenings with. But what many don't realize is that remarriage can put your financial stability at risk almost immediately. You've spent decades building your savings, your pension, your home, your nest egg. But with one legal signature, everything you built can be tied to someone else's financial situation. That doesn't mean your new partner has bad intentions. It's simply how the law works. When you marry, your financial lives merge. If your spouse carries debt, medical bills, or family obligations, those issues can quickly become yours too. Many seniors assume they can keep finances separate, but often that isn't how the system operates. Remarriage can affect eligibility for pensions, Medicaid, and survivor benefits. For instance, some widows discover too late that by remarrying, they lose the Social Security income they receive from a deceased spouse, sometimes only realizing it when their checks stop. Inheritance is another hidden danger. You may have children or grandchildren you want to leave something for, but remarriage can reroute your estate to a new spouse or their family unless strong legal protections are in place. Even with trust in your partner, relationships shift, families clash, promises are broken, and what you plan to pass down may slip away. The emotional cost of financial insecurity is severe. Seniors who lose control of their money often feel ashamed, powerless, and anxious. They may hide the truth from their children, withdrawing in silence. That independence they fought to protect begins to crumble, replaced by quiet panic. Consider Helen, age 74. She remarried a kind man she met through church. What she didn't know was that he had outstanding medical debt and no retirement savings. Within 2 years, Helen was dipping into her own retirement fund to keep them afloat, and under pressure, she changed her will. Her children were devastated, and she was left in financial distress. What began as love became a slow, painful erosion of security. In your 70s, money isn't just about numbers. It's about dignity, freedom, and peace of mind. Before remarrying, pause and ask yourself, is my heart saying yes while my wallet is begging me to stop? 2. Health responsibility overload. Marriage at this age is more than sharing your heart. It means sharing health responsibilities. And by your 70s, health is no small matter. Most older adults are already managing their own challenges. Arthritis, blood pressure, diabetes, regular doctor visits. Adding another person's needs, sometimes more complex than your own, can be overwhelming. What begins with reminders to take medication can grow into round-the-clock caregiving, lifting, bathing, scheduling appointments. This shift drains energy, not only physically but emotionally. A relationship intended for companionship can unexpectedly turn into caregiving, pulling you back into responsibilities you thought were behind you. Studies show that older caregivers often sacrifice their own well-being. They miss appointments, sleep poorly, eat irregularly, and grow isolated, all while pouring their energy into another's care. Their own health silently declines. That was Nancy's experience. At 77, she remarried and enjoyed her husband's warmth and humor until he suffered a stroke. Suddenly, she was a caregiver, managing his therapy, lifting him daily, ignoring her own worsening arthritis and vision problems. By the time she sought help, She was exhausted, depressed, and physically declining. The truth is, you can't pour from an empty cup. Your energy and health must be protected. Ask yourself honestly, am I willing and able to take on another person's care needs, today, tomorrow, and years from now? If even a small hesitation arises, take it seriously. 3. Legal complications. One of the most underestimated risks of remarriage later in life is legal complexity. Entering a marriage contract in your 70s can create lasting financial and legal consequences, not just for you, but for your children and grandchildren. Inheritance is one major issue. You may already have a will and beneficiaries carefully arranged. But when you remarry, the law may grant your new spouse legal rights to a portion of your estate, sometimes regardless of your will. This can reduce or even block what your children receive, forcing them into painful legal disputes. Social Security is another risk. Many widows qualify for survivor benefits from a late spouse. Yet remarriage can reduce or eliminate those benefits, cutting off income you rely on. Then there's medical authority. If you fall ill, your new spouse may automatically become your legal decision maker, even if your adult children better understand your wishes. If your partner and children disagree, the result can be heartbreaking conflict. This is exactly what happened to Kello, 81. She remarried for companionship, but when she became ill, her husband was granted medical authority. His decisions clashed with her daughter's wishes, sparking painful legal battles. Even the inheritance of Carol's home, meant for her grandchildren, ended up disputed in court. Love in later life is not unromantic for asking hard legal questions. It's wise. If you value your family, your legacy, and your peace of mind, you cannot afford to ignore the legal realities of remarriage. 4. Loss of personal freedom. By 70, the most valuable thing you've earned is freedom. The freedom to live on your own terms, wake when you choose, enjoy your routines, and guard your peace. Remarriage can quickly change that. In younger years, compromise is part of building a shared life. But later in life, after decades of responsibility, your habits and preferences are firmly set. A new partner may disrupt that balance. Perhaps they want the TV on all day while you savor quiet mornings. Maybe they expect heavy meals when you prefer something light. Small differences pile up, turning peace into irritation. Faith, 76, remarried after years of widowhood. At first, she enjoyed companionship, but over time, she missed her solo vacations, her quiet mornings, and her independence, even control over small things like the thermostat. She once said, "When I was younger, compromise was natural. Now every small sacrifice feels like a loss." This doesn't mean love disappears with age, but it does mean freedom is precious. And at this stage, you must ask, do I want to exchange independence for shared decisions again? 5. Financial entanglement. When younger, marriage often means building financial security together. But in your 70s, you're not building, you're protecting. And remarriage can quietly unravel decades of careful planning. Finances at this age represent more than money. They represent choices, stability, and legacy. Yet remarriage merges accounts, debts, pensions, and assets. Unless every detail is legally clarified, through prenuptial agreements, updated wills, and estate planning, you risk losing control. Consider Gregory, 86. After remarrying, he found himself paying his new wife's medical bills, supporting her adult son, and eventually selling the vacation home he had meant for his daughter. "I just wanted companionship," he said, "but I ended up giving away half my life." The danger isn't always intentional, it's structural. Without clear agreements, your money can be absorbed into obligations you never planned for. And at this stage, there's little room for financial recovery. By the time we reach our 70s, we've endured more than most can imagine: love and loss, hardship and joy. We begin to see life not in terms of gaining more, but in letting go of what no longer serves us. Remarriage is not just about companionship. It's about choosing how you want to spend your most precious years. Loneliness is real, and the desire for connection is valid. But companionship does not require marriage. It can come from friendships, family bonds, community, or even your own presence. Society teaches us that partnership defines completeness. But what if you are already complete? At this stage, fulfillment may come not from merging lives, but from reclaiming your own. living freely, joyfully, without compromise. Many older women have admitted they later regretted remarrying, not because they didn't love their partners, but because they missed their independence. Once you're past 70, you owe no one a performance. You don't have to prove your worth through marriage. Before you say I do again, pause to say I deserve. You deserve rest, peace, and the kind of life that nourishes you. Remarriage might bring that, or it might not. What matters is that your choice comes from self-trust, not self-doubt. Thank you for being here today. We'd love to hear from you. Share one thing you learned and how you'll use in your own life. Your reflections matter to us. If you found this message helpful, please subscribe, and share. It allows us to keep creating thoughtful content to guide and inspire you.